All right, guys, we're back at it again. We are at Atalanta again. This time it's in the league. Last time it was in the Champions League. They have lost their two most recent matches. We have had kind of a real iffy form, including two recent draws that have us out of first place here in the league. So we'll see what we can do. We're in second place now, 3 points behind PSG. And we could really use a win and perhaps a loss from them. That would be excellent. Of course, I mean, we'll see what happens here in the end. Our biggest problem is that we have so many players injured. You can see they're just looking up at our bench that we don't have anybody on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players on the bench. 7, I guess, with the keeper. That's it. That's all we've got. We've got nobody. So Fernandez here with the tackle that will make that a throw, and that's the end of the highlight, thankfully. Mason Mount on the bench is still injured. Everybody's injured. Everybody's tired. Figueroa knocks it to Pogba, then to Charlton. And he attacks, and it doesn't really go anywhere. It's not that the players are too old. It's just that we've had some bad luck, and we've had a lot of matches. That's really what's going on. Normally in a save like this, in a league like this, you would want to build things up slowly. I think I probably went a little bit too fast, too far with trying to get big and powerful players. Sancho to Charlton to Pogba, back to Sancho. Sancho up forward to Casemiro, who should have scored, and I'm not sure why he didn't. Casemiro decided to hesitate a little bit and decided to try to do something fancy with it instead of getting the shot off right away. It's Fernandez looking for Bauer, can't quite find him. And so this ends up turning into nothing. I mean, this was a really, really good opportunity as Sancho found Casemiro. And I'm like, why don't you just shoot it right away? Or why don't you go the other way or do something with it? Instead, the players in FM23 seem to like taking these kind of odd angles to the goal. I'm not sure that I fully understand why. It might just be my tactic, I guess, but I've seen a lot of that, including from opposing players. And there is Atalanta with their first goal, and we have seen this show before. And so now we are in a lot of danger here as we've given up a goal here on the corner. And who was that? It was Bauer once again. So Bauer, who's had all sorts of problems so far this season, has problems again. And it's his missed header that leads to a goal. 1-0 now for Atalanta, and they are attacking once again. We better hope that we can prevent them from scoring another goal. A loss here is kind of big for us, and that causes us to move down the table at a time when we're injured and we're not looking our best by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll see what we can do. Let's see if we can first get the ball off of them and then do something with it. Giggs wins it over to De Vici. Ends up being kicked back to Bauer. Bauer, who's probably been the worst of the new signings so far, to De Vici. Back to Bauer. Over to Casemiro. Casemiro now. Up to Giggs, on to Fernandez. Here's Fernandez, back to Casemiro, then to Law, and that is the equalizer. Dennis Law scores it. Law, I think, is actually injured, but it doesn't really matter there. That was a good team goal. We used about half of the players of this team to push this up the pitch, and this was a very, very good pass right here from Fernandez, who sees the space in the opening. Casemiro then knocked it over to Law, and that did it. We like to see that a little bit better than trying to bring the ball up the side and knocking to the side of the net or right at the post, which is what we've been seeing a lot of recently. But they have a free kick, and fortunately for us, that bounces off of the post, and Lev Yashin falls on it. So it's 1-1. Sancho now with the ball right side. And he, instead of scoring away, passes it backwards to Figueroa, now to Casemiro to Pogba. His shot is deflected up and over, so we will have a corner here. Let's see if we can do anything with it. I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is probably going to end up being a short save. I'm thinking we'll probably do 2 seasons at most, and it depends on whether I can survive this season. Law with it back to Fernandez. Fernandez has the ball just simply stripped from him, and that's the end of that. So we have to go back and get it again. Pogba up to nobody. De Vici fortunately sees what's happening and goes over and saves it. Fernandez now knocks this forward for Law, and that should have been his second. That was a good save. Anyway, just like I was saying, this is probably going to be a 2-year, at most maybe a 3-year project, but probably will be 2 in-game years. I don't see us going past 3, and for me to do that, we would have to be like right on the cusp of winning something. If this season is bad enough, it might only be 1, but we'll see what happens. We probably would have to be fired or like start actually losing a bunch of star players for that to actually be the case. But it could happen, it depends upon how bad the finances become. So, I mean, we'll see. Now Atalanta are attacking. There they have it, and their attack has sort of fizzled out. The nice thing about bringing a club up from lower levels is that you start to control who's on the club, and you can make it the way you want. When you have a club here at this level right from the beginning, and especially if you go out and sign a whole bunch of big names, like there's not much you can do other than just sort of have the big names and kind of hope for the best, right? The guys don't have much cohesion, and it doesn't feel like a club, which is what's going on right now. That's the reason why we keep giving up the ball. I saw Manchester City up on PSG 1-0, so that's a good sign, and this is a bad sign. Lev Yashin somehow gets in front of that one. That was a really, really good piece of goalkeeping from him. So it remains 1-1, but as I said, we could use a win. A win would be helpful. If PSG are going to lose to City, we need a win. That would help us a lot. Charlton goes over and gets it over Yashin, back to De Vici. Yashin, De Vici over to Figueroa, up to Charlton, to Sancho. And that's the end of the highlight. And so we can look at another replay here quickly and sort of see what happens. And we're just too far wide open on defense. We don't have anybody there to sort of clog the middle. Part of that is the problem of having only three guys in the back. Sancho with the throw over to Charlton, back to Figueroa. Sancho again, back to Figueroa, over to Bauer. Bauer forward, Casemiro to Fernandez, and Fernandez blasts one from range that forces a good save. So that's something. Here we have a corner, and let's see if we can get on it. We could use the likes of Cotter Bamba right now, but it's not going to be him. Instead, it'll be over to Figueroa, who doesn't quite get a head onto it, and that is the end of that attack. Sancho now throws over to Pogba, over to Bobby Charlton, who takes a shot, and that was an excellent save again by Musso, and that really should have been a goal. It's another one that another example of us knocking on the door and just not getting through. Here's Fernandez with the corner, knocks it forward, and is knocked back to him by Bauer. Fernandez just watches that one go back, and we'll say, okay, we'll do another corner. You can see him sort of walking. He looks pretty tired. Now Fernandez again, looking for Bauer. He almost gets onto it. It's De Vici who wins it and then loses it right away. And now we have to play catch-up again. So we're having problems, continuing to have our struggles. We can't exactly pull Pele in off the bench because he's injured. So we kind of have to use what we have right now and hope for the best. We do have a couple guys on the bench, most of whom are tired, and many of whom are still technically injured. That was a good header by Figueroa, but not quite good enough. And so it remains 1-1. And let's see if we can't get this ball back once again. And they're kind of marching up on us, but now we have it back. Fernandez passes to Law, and it doesn't work, so he goes and wins it again. Fernandez, excellent pass to Law, and it was just a little bit in front of him. Law had a hard time getting to that one with the guy screening him out. If Law could have somehow shaken off that man, though, that would have easily been the go-ahead goal for us. Instead, it's Bauer who misses. He misses that completely. Fortunately, Lev Yashin is there for the save. They're saying that was almost the goal of the season. I don't think it was that good. But, Bauer right here needs to take control of that, and instead he sort of does a little hop. Capone ends up for Atalanta standing there like he's stunned, almost like somebody knocked into him. Bauer's just having a really, really poor match, and I'm very concerned about that, and he needs to start, stepping it up. I mean, this has been a really, really poor start to the season for him. Sancho can't get onto that one, and we're having more problems, and, man, look at what that leads to. All right, we're going to have to make our changes. We're going to have to make it now. So Bauer is coming off. Definitely Monteglio will come on for him. And who else was looking pretty bad? I mean, Giggs is almost not even there. So we take Giggs off. And, what do? We put Ronaldo on. That's basically the only choice we have because Best is injured. And the other one here is Bobby Charlton, who's done absolutely nothing. And so we'll put Maradona back on and see if these guys can't give us a winner here in the next 15 minutes. Let's see what happens. Leipzig up on Bayern 2-1. Another big match, another big outcome that could be helpful for us. Pogba just gave that one up too easily, and Casemiro gets himself sent off. So ridiculousness. We're not going to make any change. All right, we only have one guy in midfield, which might be a problem. Although technically the shadow strikers are technically midfielders. Even though not really. Anyway, it doesn't matter in the end at all because we're not getting the ball here. And the game's starting to glitch out anyway. Lev Yashin with another good save. I don't know what causes this glitching, right? You know, it happens like every once in a while, and it happens almost by random. I'm not sure if it's like something's overheating or what's going on, but it's definitely cause for concern. De Ketelaere, I think, was technically offside, but there was no call at all. So much for that. Here's Capone with the corner, and this is knocked forward, and that fortunately the header is just above the goal. So yeah, we are able to see that one off. It's De Vici over to Figueroa, to Bauer, now to Pogba, up to Charlton. And what happened to my changes? How come that hasn't come in yet? It's Giggs still on, over to Law, back to Bauer, to De Vici, to Bauer, over to Fernandez, to De Vici. I mean, this is really strange because we've had numerous stoppages in play. De Vici knocks all the way back to Lev Yashin, and I'm like, okay, so when are these guys coming off? I wonder if that red card didn't negate all the changes that I made. So here's Bobby Charlton over to Sancho, to Pogba, who takes a shot, and now that's a good time for us to try to get this going again. Yeah, look at that. So getting the red card, here's a piece of advice for you if you happen to play Football Manager for whatever crazy reason. If you get a red card, it's going to take away all of the changes that you made. So, I mean, where's the logic behind that? Here's the corner from Fernandez. He'll kick this one forward as we will wait a second to try to get more guys on, and it turns into nothing. So we had a highlight that was just him stepping back, waiting to take the corner. Strange goings on here. Allow me to once again say that I'm looking forward to FM25. I think FM24 will be more of the same ridiculousness. I look forward to having an FM game that makes at least a little bit of sense. 10 minutes left, and we need something to happen here, and I'm getting really frustrated with these guys not playing well. Pogba finally gets it from Figueroa, and then Figueroa's next pass ends up being up forward to nobody. So this is the same problem that we've been having, and it's like, why are we having such a hard time, getting anything going on? Lev Yashin makes a good save, which is a positive bit, I suppose. But, I mean, we're having a hard time just, like, getting possession, right? And we get possession, which happened before this, and then we just give it up straight away. It's like we can't imagine ourselves holding on to the ball, so we're just going to give it straight back to them and let them worry about it. Anyway, we'll see what we can do. If we don't win this, there are going to be fines coming up at the end of this one. There's Maradona. Man, that was awesome. Maradona with a goal. No, it's Bruno Fernandes who has it. The assist goes to Maradona. That was incredible. So all my complaining aside, Maradona does this incredible move there on the right side. I mean, just look at this. Law over to Maradona. He's got two guys on him, kicks it off of one of them, and then somehow beats both of them. Goes from this crazy angle and knocks it over to Fernandes, who scores the goal, and that is totally against the run of play with only 10 men. 2-1 United. And, well, let's see what we can do. And Law wins it again. No, we've lost it right after that. I was going to say Law wins it again and has a counterattack, but not quite. De Vici almost wins this in the back and instead just sort of sets up a shot for them. So Lev Yashin, fortunately, is more than equal to the task. But this is one of those things that I worry about. None of these defenders have really worked out for us. Yeah, it looks like it's all been really poor signings. So United's problems in the back continue. Monseglio on to Ronaldo, back to De Vici. Ronaldo up to Fernandez. And Fernandez will just run up, and I mean, he just hands it over to the goalie. It's really kind of strange. He should have taken a shot because he had everybody off balance and he was in front of everyone. I don't know why he doesn't shoot. Pogba to Maradona over to Sancho. And Sancho is just not quite quick enough, and we've had that problem with him a lot early here this season, with him showing some sort of attack, but it may be that Lev Yashin makes that save. Fortunately, it may be that we need to, for guys like Sancho, we need to pull him up and have him be an actual attacking winger. I'd like him to attack, but for some reason, when he's further back, he doesn't run fast enough. This pass back to Lev Yashin from Pogba over to De Vici. Down to Ronaldo. We are going to get away with this one, I think. And Ronaldo just gives up possession like it's nobody's business, but it doesn't matter. In the end, we've won this one 2-1. So that's a real surprise. We did have more XG, 2.41 to their 1.90, but we had fewer shots on target. They had the time of their lives with possession. We gave up a lot of fouls and had a man sent off, and so it is. I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye.